Imagine a place where there is no need for social distancing or mandatory masks, where people have accepted that freedom is a state-given privilege, not a God-given right. Now, would you believe it? This place is in Britain. The Isle of Man has just emerged from its circuit breaker lockdown after over 20 days without a COVID case. Joining us in the studio is the island's Chief Minister, Howard Quayle. Chief Minister Quayle, tell me, how have you managed to control people in such a clear and decisive way?
We were able to go in pretty hard and fast in March of last year, with the help of Project Fear and yours truly. This propaganda campaign enabled us to introduce a strict quarantine and begin a harsh lockdown. Secondly, the inhabitants of the Isle of Man know that freedom is slavery, and were craving the opportunity to spend long hours in front of the television and or sleeping till noon.
Of course I hear this and understand that size is relevant, but it seems to me that the Isle of Man acted very, very quickly and very, very decisively in locking down and realising that the best way to take away people's freedoms was to stop them leaving or have really harsh conditions on people leaving or entering. Well, being a smaller jurisdiction, people are more obedient and compliant with government regulations because we are so much smaller, and peer pressure is so much more effective.
Obviously the measures were really strict and good, but did the people go with you? How was it? Were Karens useful? Was there any resistance? How on board were the people? No, not at all. People just handed over their freedoms to us, though there were a few people who were not willing to give up their freedoms. We gave ourselves very harsh measures to deal with those people. Though I have no way of knowing this, I'm going to say that we have 99% of people buying into the government's measures.
How do you ensure compliance? Because over here we're looking for a way to ensure compliance for the peasants and not for us, the important people. Because it's important for us to have rules for thee and not for me.
Well, we would do spot checks to make sure that people were self-isolating, and if people were breaking the rules or caught breaking lockdown rules, you could get up to 4 weeks in prison. The harshest of sentences were only dished out to the lowest on the socio-economic ladder. This works especially well on small communities such as the Isle of Man, as people like to look down on their neighbours. In the last lockdown, we ended up handing out 12 4-week sentences. This is just a small minority of the population and shows that the majority of the population are happy to cede their freedoms to the state and are happy for freedoms to become privileges. I want to know why we couldn't do the same thing in our country. Massively draconian restrictions every time there's a COVID outbreak. Getting people to accept that freedom is a gift, a privilege from the state, not a God-given right. I mean, I get the size thing. The size is different, the principle's the same. And those islands around the world that continuously keep locking down every time there's a COVID outbreak, those